So basically, what this video is and what it's gonna be like revolving around is like a central question, and you have to answer it because like in the video we're gonna go through like subparts of that question, just break it down. But it's just all like kind of central around this main problem. And what it is many problems exist in America today because of prejudice against each other. What steps would you take to move toward a more accepting and tolerant nation? So that's like the main thing that we're just gonna be talking about. But based off that, if you saw somebody getting talked down to because they were like praying in the streets, would you step up and stand up for them, or would you kind of like mind your own business, or would you like join the crowd? What would you really do?
So I was born and raised to as a Catholic. I go to church every Sunday. My mom and dad really believe in that stuff, and as do I. If I saw somebody praying in the streets and someone was trying to talk them down, I would definitely say something. This is what they're trying to do. This is their ritual. This is what they believe in. If they have a problem with what they believe in, they shouldn't have any say on it.
And why do you think you would really like take that action? Like, what would be kind of like your motive to take that action? Just based off like moral rights, like your personality.
I don't know. Maybe he had problems himself if he was trying to talk him down. But
so do you think it's like because of your personality that you took certain steps to stand up for him?
Yeah.
So like based off like what I learned in class in my textbook, we learned that people like that have openness type personality and people that are very like extroverted are most likely to help with like that type of situation because of certain traits that go along with that personality, like caring, like willing to help, and not really those type of people aren't really likely to go with the crowd and like what the crowd does. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, what types of personalities do you think like you have? Do you think those type of personalities like fit your traits or?
Yes, they actually. It sounds very like fitting. For me, I'm a type of guy who I'm open and I kind of I like to do my own stuff. So I also like helping people a lot. So I think that's why my answer complies with that situation.
So in the book, I learned that social contagion. I just can't pronounce the last word. Basically, it means like if a group of people were shouting and being rude to somebody just because like he or she spoke not a language, would you step in and stand up for that person and just because of there being like a large group? Basically what like social other word means is like people tend to follow the bigger group, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So if you saw like a group of people large or like just a group of people shouting and being rude to somebody just because he or she spoke another language, like individually just you, would you try to step in and stand up in front of like large group of people, or did you again like just sort of go your own way? Or
yeah, so this situation is, I guess, has some similarities with the other one. So, I would definitely stand up for the person. I think in the society that we live in today, discrimination shouldn't even be an option. Like we made a lot of progress from the past with racism and talking down on religion, color, creed, sexual orientation, and race, and all this stuff. And honestly, that shouldn't even be an option for anybody to make fun of somebody because they speak another language. So I would definitely stand up for that person.
How would it make you feel if people were to not like you or judge you just because of where you're from or the way that you speak? How would that kind of make you feel?
It's just
like what type of like emotions would you be going through?
I like to make other people feel happy and other people feel comfortable. So in that case, I would just have to I would just be quiet. I would just keep to myself.
What emotions would make you kind of feel though? Like, would you be like,
I would just
think you'd be embarrassed or?
I would just be embarrassed, upset, and
angry.
kept to myself, and that's not the person I am, so I wouldn't really enjoy that.
I learned in the book that, like, you know, like when people get angered, it's probably because of a stimulus, and that stimulus is probably triggered by people judging you because of the way you act,
Right.
which releases an emotional response to it.
Okay.
Which would probably, you know, like, obviously doesn't make anybody feel good. That's probably one of the reasons why we should be a more accepting and tolerant nation.
Right.
So what suggestions would you make, if any, to reduce hate crimes in America?
Could you repeat that question?
So, like, what suggestions would you make to reduce, like, hate crimes in America?
Oh, okay.
Like, you just had any, like, just a few.
That's a really good question. If it was up to me to reduce the hate crimes and all that nonsense, I mean, it's so difficult to stop this stuff because some people have no control. Like, sometimes people have no control over it. Sometimes that's the way the person is. They just have an angry fate and stuff like that. But, if I had to do something, I mean, I would just try to, just advertise the fact that we're all human. We all have hearts, and we all bleed, and we're all the same build, like.
Exactly.
So.
Because of cognitive economy, which is also, like, it means representational assumptions. So that basically just means you're just judging a book purely based on its cover. You know what I mean? That is basically what cognitive economy means. I'm just holding out a textbook, and so because of cognitive economy, you know, like, people just judge a book by the cover. People are stereotyping more than ever, which is causing more prejudice, leading to a more divided country. What can we do to stop this?
Mainly just, like, socialization. Like, yes, you can judge a book by its cover, but you don't know what's really inside. You don't know all of its chapters.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I think just socializing is like the best answer, and just trying to get yourself involved because you really don't know what you're working with.
Yeah, exactly. And so just off that, I have an article here from Science Direct titled "How Terrorism News Reports Increase Prejudice Against Outgroups," and it says 3 studies tested predictions derived from terror management theory about the effects of terrorism news on prejudice. Exposure to terrorism news should confront receivers with thoughts about their own death, which in turn should increase prejudice toward outgroup members. So pulling away from that, basically what they're saying is that because of news reports that are kind of showing a lot of terrorism and everything like that, it kind of causes America to become more prejudiced towards the outgroups, and the outgroups being immigrants, you know, like Muslims or people like that, and it kind of sparks up prejudice again, which obviously we don't need. So, do you think that we should look at terrorism in a different way and, like, the outcome of that instead of, like, pointing fingers?
Yeah, I think looking at people, especially involved in terrorism, looking at them badly is just very unnecessary. We're, like you said, we're kind of just pointing fingers, and they're not stupid. They know that we're like pointing fingers at them. So it's just, I think it's all adding to the whole mess and to the whole dementia of terrorism. And I don't really agree with that.
And that again relates to the cognitive economy, and that's it. Yeah.